Hello and welcome to the topic Islamic Economic Model, a solution to the growing problems of conventional economy. My name is Suhail Sheikh. I would be discussing this topic in different parts. Today I would be discussing on part 1, that is the concept of money in Islam and conventional economy. The global economy continues to remain in crisis. People are worried about the growing national debt, higher inflation, which also leads to loss in value of money, increase in taxes, bankruptcies, growing foreclosures, fewer job opportunities, and increasing in unemployment rate. There are reports that people are eating up into their savings to meet their monthly expenses. The need of the hour is to understand and analyze the different economic models so that some kind of a solution can be arrived at it. I have chosen Islamic economic model because to my knowledge, Islamic economic model is far more stable. It has a proven track record. It has very well dealt with the micro and macroeconomics. The economic model has proper policies, rules, regulation, and procedures which are well documented. Model works on the principle of justice. Islamic economic model aims at social and welfare justice, rejects borrowing on interest, which takes care of inflation, loss in value of money, national debt, and other problems. My objective to discuss this topic, the concept of money, which is part 1, is to make the audience understand what is money in Islam and conventional economy. Logically, money is created when efforts are put together to create something from the goods and services. The value of the goods and services is the creation of money. To initiate the discussion, I have taken 3 broad economic models: traditional economy, Islamic economy, and conventional economy. When I say traditional economy, it is an economic model prior to Islam. What is the difference in it? Let's start the discussion on traditional economy. Traditional economy basically deals with barter exchange. Metals like gold, silver, copper were considered as cash and used for all the transactions. Goods and services produced, they had intrinsic value. There were no defined rules and regulations. Market was not regulated. Whereas in Islamic economy, barter exchange existed with certain rules. There are 6 products: gold, silver, wheat, barley, date, and salt, which were regulated by certain rules when it comes to barter exchange. The ruling was it has to be hand to hand on the spot dealing, same quality and same quantity. Metal like gold, silver, and copper were considered as money to buy and sell. Goods and services which were sold in the market, they had intrinsic value. Interest was strictly prohibited. There was absence of inflation, and so the loss of value of money was not there. The market was very well regulated and controlled. In conventional economy, printing of money is decided by the government and the central bank. The central bank would print the money and distribute the money either in the digital form or physical form through commercial banks. Printing of currency either in paper or in digital form is considered as a fiat currency. It does not have intrinsic value in itself. Over a period of time, the gold standard was taken off. So the printing of currency does not have any standard. The central bank or the government would print currency as and when they want. The impact of printing of currency leads to inflation, and inflation also leads to loss in value of money. The price of the goods is decided by the demand and supply. Market is very well regulated. There are systematic policies and procedures. Definition of conventional economy and the principles on which the conventional economy is based. Conventional economy has its own philosophy and it also deals with the subject of psychology. Conventional economy permits an individual to conduct business. It means the person can decide what to produce, when to produce, and how to produce. It strongly believes that the resources in nature are scarce and people have unlimited want. It also believes in the psychological or rational thinking of the people, that people are smart enough to decide what they want. The system does not have absolute standards and would change according to the conditions of the society. It means that the conventional economy does not have an absolute standard. The principle on which the conventional economy is established is the government or the central bank would decide the printing of money either in physical form or in digital form as and when it requires. The money created in conventional economy is called a fiat currency. It does not have intrinsic value in itself. It strongly believes that supply of money leads to economic prosperity. The process of creation of money at the government level and at the corporate level is legalized. Creation of money does not have any gold standard, or the printing of currency, it's not linked to any other standard. The government can print currency as and when it wills. Excessive creation of money leads to inflation, and inflation leads to loss in value of money. To manage the inflation, central bank would regulate the interest rate, and this system is called monetary policy. The government would also get involved in managing the economy by way of taxes, which is called as fiscal policy. Both the interest rate and the tax, they add to inflation. Each country has its own currency. The value of the currency is decided in the open market. The government has the power to withdraw any currency by an order, which can lead to a major loss to its citizen. Economic policies keeps on changing to the need of this society, and it does not have an absolute standard. Money in conventional economy is created out of nothing. Let us understand now how and what creates money in conventional economy. Let us discuss the physical part of the currency, which is in the paper currency or in coins. I have taken two examples, Indian rupee and the American dollar. Both are fiat currency. On Indian currency, it is mentioned promissory note. Promissory note means the central bank of the country promises to pay in gold the amount equivalent to the currency. Currently, all printing of currencies are not linked to gold standard. Whereas, when it comes to American dollar, it is mentioned as legal tender. It means that the government says it is a currency and hence it is a currency. Both this currency does not have any value in itself. Let us look at the digital currency. Now let us understand how digital currency contributes to the creation of money. Credit card is a digital currency. It is legalized. Every person would have a credit limit, and the credit creation for each individual is the amount of money created. So this is one of the way of creation of money. Cryptocurrency is also a digital currency. It is outside the norms of the banking system. It is a peer-to-peer system. It is legalized by many countries. It is not regulated by many countries. Other form of digital currencies are corporate bonds and government bonds. Corporate bonds, it is also kind of a fiat currency. The corporate would raise fund as and when they required from the open market by issuing of bonds. People would purchase the bond certificate with a promise to be repaid the face value plus the interest. This is another way of creation of money. Governments also issue bonds. It is also called as a fiat currency. It is legalized. It is one of the way of raising short-term money by the government. People would purchase the bond certificate with a promise to be repaid with the face value along with the interest. So this is also a form of creation of money. Forex trading also creates money. The currency of different countries is traded in the forex market. Based on the demand, the value of money against the dollar is decided. People trade in that currency and make profit. This is also one of the way of creating money. Stock markets. Different company would trade their stocks in the stock exchange. This is one of the way of raising funds for business. Each stock would have a face value of it based on the financial conditions. The value of the stocks are decided. Sometime the value of the stock may be 10 times more than the face value of the stock. The difference in the face value and the premium value, the difference is creation of money. So this is also one of the way of creating artificial money. Let us understand how much the system has created money. The system has created excessive money. The government, the central bank, the corporate, they all create money and which is legalized. As per the as per newtondesk.com, the supply of money in physical form is only 8%. Remaining 92% is in the digital form. So this is one of the way of creating of artificial money. Impact of excessive creation of money is dangerous. It leads to inflation, which leads to loss in value of money, and it creates national debt. So this is how in conventional economy money is creating itself. Let us understand the concept of money in Islam. Let's look at the definition. Islamic economy is based on the principles of Quran and Hadith, that is the Sharia. It has very well defined do's and don'ts, which you call it as halal and haram. These do's and don'ts help in establishing social and economic justice. It is not only the responsibility of the state, but also the responsibility of individual to ensure social and economic justice to an individual. So what is money in Islamic economy? Anything which has intrinsic value, any goods and services which has intrinsic value is money in Islamic economy. So whether it could be an animal, whether it could be metals like gold, silver, copper, whether it could be a product or whether it could be services. So if you look at animal, it is a product, it has intrinsic value, it can be sold in the market. Metals like gold and silver, they are considered as a liquid cash, and against gold, silver, copper, any other things can be purchased. Products, I've taken an example of an axe. It is a product, it has intrinsic value in itself. Hence, this can be traded against barter exchange or it can be purchased against the liquid cash, which is gold and silver. Services, it could be mental, it could be physical services. These services can be provided on barter exchange or as well as cash, liquid cash against gold and silver coins, which has special rules and regulations when it comes to barter exchange. When you're dealing with gold to gold, silver to silver, barley to barley, wheat to wheat, salt to salt, dates to date, it has to be same quality, same quantity, and the dealing has to be on the spot. That is the difference. With other products or services, you can buy against liquid cash, that is gold and silver. Let us understand the principles on which the Islamic economy is established. Fundamentally, creation of money is in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There are numerous ayat in Quran and there are hadith which clearly tells that the provisions or sustenance for every individual is decided by the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There are two ayat I am taking as an example, Surah Al-Imran, verse number 27 and Surah Mulk, verse number 21. Surah Al-Imran, verse number 27, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that we provide sustenance to whom we will without any account. Surah Mulk, it says that if we decide to restrain the sustenance, who is there to provide them? So creation of money in Islam is through the earnings, that is efforts and risk. All the goods and services provided under Islamic economy, they have intrinsic value. Metals like gold and silver are referred in Quran as dinar and dirham. There are special rulings for the 6 products which we have already discussed, that is gold, silver, barley, wheat, salt and dates. Islamic economy, like conventional economy, strongly believes that spending of money leads to prosperity. Every individual who possesses wealth, he doesn't own the wealth, he is only the custodian of the wealth. He is supposed to distribute the wealth as per the guidelines given by the Quran and Hadith. And whenever he distributes the wealth as per the guidance of Quran and the Hadith, he is rewarded. The concept of sharing of wealth is well defined. There are 2 concepts. One is mandatory and other is voluntary. Whatever the money which is paid by way of zakat or taxes, all are collected centrally by the government, which is called as Baitul Mal. The money of the Baitul Mal is used for government administration and also helping the needy. Islamic economic system does not create inflation, and hence there is no loss in value of money and there is no national and individual debt. The money flows from the high point to low point, that is from the haves to haves not, and that's how the money is circulated. And most important, and the last point is that the money in Islam, which is in the form of metal or the product or services, are very well accepted globally and locally. To conclude, let me compare the concept of money in Islam and conventional economy. Money is created by human beings in conventional economy, whereas money is created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and there are 2 conditions required for creation of money, that is the efforts and the risk. Money in conventional economy is in physical and digital form. And as I explained in the earlier slide, that digital money which you cannot see, it is 92%. Whereas in conventional economy, money is in the form of goods and services. Money in conventional economy does not have intrinsic value, whereas in Islamic economy, it has intrinsic value. Each country has its own currency, which is called as a fiat currency, whereas the currency in Islam is gold, silver, copper, wheat, products, services which are globally accepted. Conventional economy creates inflation. Islamic economy doesn't create inflation. Conventional economy, due to inflation, loses value of money, whereas in Islamic economy, the value of money is not lost. Money depreciates, devalues in conventional economy. The question in Islamic economy of depreciating or devaluation does not arise. To control the economy, the government and the central bank needs to intervene continuously. Islamic economy is totally controlled by the Almighty, and which has been running perfectly for many years. So that concludes the part one, the concept of money. The second part, creation of money, would be coming soon. Thank you very much for hearing to this topic. Please circulate this lecture. I request you to please share this lecture and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.